Yes, that's right. Survivor Know-It-Alls back here live after episode number 6 of Survivor San Juan del Sur on Wednesday night, October 29th, 2014. And here are the Survivor Know-It-Alls. I'm Rob Cesternino. Here is Stephen Fishbach. And Stephen, you look so beautiful tonight.
Damn, that was literally what I was going to say. That was going to be...
Good night. Good night.
You're so beautiful. And shoot, that was my line. You stole my line. Whose line is it anyway?
Yes.
Wow.
Jon Misch's line.
That was a great line. Jon was knocking it out of the park tonight. Like, who's Big John now, or whatever that was. Yeah.
Oh boy.
He had a stellar evening tonight. But you're so beautiful.
Stellar evening.
Capstone, and I feel like, how do we make this become a thing?
Oh well, I think we just did. You just keep saying it enough, and it becomes a thing. That's how it works. All right. Yeah. So we have a lot to talk about tonight. Of course, we'll talk about Dale is the one who goes home. Sad to see him go. Thought he played his ass off tonight. I thought he did a really good job.
Dale did a really good job for someone going home. You know, even going into tribal council, I was like, I got to give this guy a fishy. Can't give the guy a fishy when he goes home, but he freaking made it work. And you know, you said it on Twitter.
We'll talk about it.
I'm jumping ahead of myself.
Yeah, we're just teasing right now. And then of course, we'll talk about the big trade and who we thought got the better side of that trade, the Hunahpu tribe or Jeff Probst. Yeah. We'll talk about Natalie's interesting strategic decision to go to Exile Island, plus everything that went on in the episode tonight, and set it up. Okay, let's go to, we have our chat room here on robhasawebsite.com. We've got people on Twitter.
Oh, Twitter, too. Chat room, Twitter. This is the interactive living room.
Yes, the interactive living room. Hashtag RHAP. We'll take your questions later on in the show. And then also on our YouTube channel at robhasawebsite.com/YouTube. Getting ready for a big Thursday coming up here on Rob Has a Podcast. We are going to talk with the latest person voted out of Survivor. That's right. Farm Guy 69 will be our guest tomorrow morning. Do you know that's his Twitter handle, Steven?
I don't think that's really his Twitter handle.
You can think it's not really his Twitter handle.
It's not really. Is it really?
Go look it up. Look it up. Okay. And then later on Thursday, we got a very big show coming up for you guys. We're going to speak with Steven's favorite Bushkowskis brother,
Vitas
Bushkowskis. Tomorrow. And then we are going to be doubling down on the Survivor, an extra portion of Survivor for you when we do the voicemails with the great Michael Snow will be our guest.
Snowy. Hey, Snowy. You know what? I've got a big Survivor day tomorrow as well. I'm going to Eliza's Halloween party.
Yes, and also the other thing I'm going to say is that then I will be speaking with Kurt Clark as well for we're going to do I think I'm going to not put it in the main Thursday show. I think I'm going to actually break it up into another show so it's not like a 5-hour show. But I'm going to be speaking with Kurt Clark, who we're going to play his tradition. It's a Rob Has Podcast tradition where Kurt Clark tells me what the survivors are for Halloween, and then it's a multiple choice, and I have to guess what they actually are being. And the rumor is Stephen Fishbach, his costume is going to be one of the questions.
Oh, I don't know if I respond. I don't know if I ever answered Kurt. If not, Kurt, hit me up again because I will respond to you.
Kurt said Stephen is being the most difficult person. Stephen is very concerned that there's, and I've said that there's an embargo on this podcast.
Yeah, right.
We will not reveal what Stephen's, but like anybody's dying to know what will Stephen Fishbach be for Halloween.
The problem is it's just not that great, and I don't want to embarrass myself. It's like a dad joke of a costume.
Okay, so it's not that you think that there are people with bated breath. What is?
Oh no, it's more like I don't want to humiliate myself based on my lame costume. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Okay, well, that's very exciting. So we've got a lot to do here coming up on Thursday on Rob Has a Podcast. One quick thing also before we jump into it, Stephen. Yeah. Of course, we had the original Rob Has a Podcast T-shirt that was designed by Eric Reichenbach.
Oh, sure, that was great.
Way back when we first announced, I think last year, I think when it was the first time we did it, and then we recently did another edition. But we have a brand new T-shirt that is out for Rob Has a Podcast from our friends over at Teespring. One of our fantastic listeners, Brian Malloy, he worked on a brand new design, and if you want to check that out, this is what the new Rob Has a Podcast T-shirt looks like. It comes in a lot of different colors and women's sizes as well.
I love that. That's awesome.
People said it's not as nerdy as the last one.
I like this is something that you could actually wear out.
Wear in public. That's what people are saying.
Exactly right. Yeah.
That's what the buzz is on the new.
The last one was perfect because it was just like it was everything, right? There was there was Nicole. Most importantly, there was me. This one is somewhat, that's the one you wear at home, and this is the one you wear out for a nice evening on the town.
Yeah, you can check out this shirt if you're listening to the audio podcast at robhasawebsite.com/bellshirt and I'll try to get a banner up. It's $16. I think the shipping is like $3.85. You're in and out for less than $20. We give $1 of all of the t-shirt sales to Autism Speaks, so it's not a major hit, and it's a good thing if you want to be wear your RHAP support on yourself.
In and out for less than $20. That's hard to find.
Hard to find. Okay, let's get into this, Stephen. Let's talk about Dale and his gamesmanship tonight. I thought he had it. Did you think he had it?
I thought, you know what? I honestly did think that they would split the votes on Dale. Like, that was the sensible thing to do. People these days, the kids these days, they love the vote splitting. Like, they are people that, like, people will go out of their way to split votes, even when they don't have to. And so I think, like, Dale giving them the opportunity to split votes, like, people get to feel so strategic when they're splitting votes. They're like, ooh, 3 on him and 2 on him. Look at us. We can add.
Yeah, I felt like what I thought was going to happen, I thought where this was going to backfire was I thought they were going to split the votes and then put the votes on 3 on Dale and 2 on Keith, and then or whatever, and Keith was going to play his idol, and then that was going to end up with Dale ultimately going home, or if they put 3 on Keith and 2 on Dale, if he doesn't go home, and so I thought that he was going to get burned by having the fake idol. Steven, has this been a season? Has production hidden too many fake idols this season?
Where was I actually don't. Obviously I saw this fake idol in the previously on, but like I don't remember Dale picking up this fake idol.
Yeah, what happened was in the beginning of the season that Dale was the first one to get to the water well, and it was like a thing, like a lanyard that was on the water well.
Yes, and we knew that something was going to happen with it. You believed that the top of the well was the.
It was Chekhov's lanyard, yeah.
Chekhov's lanyard. That's exactly right.
And so, Steven, has production had too many fake idols this season? Does the Survivor need to cut down on the number of fake idols in a season? That Val had 2 fake idols, Dale has a fake idol. Are fake idols ruining Survivor?
Fake idols are like the fake backstory of Survivor. It's like I am a school teacher and I have 6 fake idols. It's like people just want to lie. Like they're so hyped up to go out there and play that they just like can't wait to like make nonsense up.
Yeah. So Steven, should they do a season where every Survivor has a fake idol at the start of the game?
Yeah.
Would that be too many fake idols?
Well, everyone has a fake idol and a real idol. I think that's the move. I think that is the move.
Can't have enough fake idols.
Yeah.
And I'm teasing, of course.
The crazy thing is, Jon really seemed to believe it. Like,
oh, he did.
Yeah.
He believed it. He feels like he made a big mistake.
You tweeted this. You tweeted, if you're going to show your fake idol to anybody, let it be Jon. And I think that's the perfect encapsulation of that. Because like nobody else, no other human on that tribe would have believed that was an idol.
Yeah, it's just like a little keychain, fake idol.
Jon's like face. He looked like he was a child who had been shown an ice cream cone. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah, but Steven, it was your girl.
Yeah.
Muffin. That ended up talking him off the ledge that he wanted to do this.
Right.
And if it was not for the wrath of Muffin, I think he would have gone ahead and done this.
Muffin is becoming a real power player, and we'll talk about that right in a minute. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but with like the Natalie connections and everything happening for Muffin, yeah, I agree. I think Jon was really. I think it was a real moment of consideration for Jon. Like, do we vote out Dale? Do we vote out Keith? Or do we vote out Muffin because she is too connected?
Okay, let's just close the book on Dale. Did Dale play this as perfectly as he could have tonight? Let's forget about all of the mistakes he made and the transgressions that he made prior to tonight.
But so let's talk about what Dale did, right? A, Dale showed Jon the fake idol.
Yes.
B, at the challenge, he says someone's loved one is going home tonight.
Yeah, that was great.
That was great because that just showed this idea that like it's going to happen. Someone else. And then C, he pulled a Marty Piombo and said, I will give you my idol if you let me stay. I mean, and Jon bought it. And I don't know, yeah.
He was fantastic. Maybe the thing, while it was so funny at the thing that he said at the immunity challenge, was it almost too much? Like, did he maybe get people thinking that he
Over the
had the
shoulder?
idol? Like the oversell, because like when people have the
Right.
fake idol, they tend to oversell it way more. Or the people that aren't going to use their idol, those are the people that are wearing it at tribal council. Like the more you show it off, the less you're going to use it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's
In a
definitely.
way that was not like anybody who would use an idol.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Like the person who's going to use the idol is not going to like say the things in like that forced kind of Amanda Kimmel way of like, oh, I'm going to use the idol. Yeah, I think that. Yeah, and that's actually, you know what? Like, just to take a little aside, I think the people who are able to fake it the best are the real excellent play. Like Sash Lenahan, you know, he like fake played an idol better than anyone has fake played an idol before. Anyway, all right.
Although then throw everything out the window when then you put it through the Tony Vlachos filter, because I think he would have probably played this pretty close to the way Dale played it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. But like Tony's read would have been better, right? Like Tony would have read what John was going to do and like reacted accordingly better.
Well, I think he did the best that he could. I don't think that there was anything else that Dale could have done on his end.
You're saying put Tony in the same situation and it wouldn't nothing would have been different? I don't believe that.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what
We
we were
will
talking
see.
about. One of the great Survivor players, and as much as I enjoy Farm Guy 69, maybe not on that same level. All right, talk to me about Muffin, and are you willing to start talking about Muffin as one of the big forces this season?
It's interesting. This was like Muffin's coming out, right? Where we really see that Muffin is she's a real power player, where she's kind of dominated her own tribe. She went from being like a potential boot to being the person who's sort of, you know, pulling the strings. And then meanwhile, over on the other tribe, Natalie is going to exile, missing out on some hot beef in order to in order to like make ties with Baylor and build a relationship with Muffin and Baylor. So, you know, it really seems like, in the very fact that the reason that John was thinking about voting out Muffin was because, you know, he was worried about Muffin's power. Like this is like the rise of Muffin.
The Muffin is rising.
The Muffin is rising. It has been appropriately baked.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God! And the muffin is rising and over the pan, and we're gonna have a nice muffin top, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the best part of the muffin.
Right. The top of the muffin will happen in the merch. We're gonna see the muffin top in the merch.
Top o the muffin to ya.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about where Muffin goes from here, because does the Jeremy thing intersect with the Muffin thing, or do they become people who are targeting each other?
Oh, I think they intersect, right? Like Muffin's power comes from the fact that she has these relationships. Natalie is with Jeremy. I think that the Muffin Jeremy power duo is against the Josh power single.
See, but I feel like that there is some conflict here, because Muffin and Baylor are in the we have a loved one thing, and they've got John and Jacqueline very tight in the we have a loved one thing.
I don't think that we have a loved one thing.
Is that, So you feel it's the original Hunahpu Jeremy alliance. That is the controlling alliance in the game once we get to the merge, as opposed to, hey, all the people with loved ones, we're going to stick together.
I mean, I'm sure Muffin is feeling her oats a little bit now, right? Like now that she's kind of like
Muffin. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah. It's healthy and it's delicious.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, she's feeling her oats a little bit now that she's kind of running things, you know, and maybe at Hunahpu, at least from what we saw, and it's hard to say, Muffin really seemed to be sort of an ancillary player to Jeremy, you know, Jeremy and his ladies, and now she kind of is really, like we said, you know, she's rising. Muffin ascended.
Not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but as we get towards the merge, would you like a merge here at 12? Do you feel like you're ready to see a merge at this point, or you want to?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen, you know, Hunahpu win when they were one set. We've seen Hunahpu win in the post merge. We know what's going to happen we know the power. I feel like as soon as you know what the power dynamics are and you see a hierarchy, like for me as a viewer, like that's when I want to see things get messed up. Obviously, as a player, like that's when you don't want things to get messed up, right? When you're a player, you're like, finally, I've like established a little bit of a base. I know where my footing is. Now I want to like operate and put my plans into action. But as a viewer, like no one wants to see plans come into action. We want to see plans get scuttled.
Yes, that's right. So I feel like this is going to be a really, really interesting show next Wednesday night, because I really am interested to see whether the pairs of loved ones stick together, or it's going to be this Hunahpu thing, or there's going to be a point where maybe for 1 vote or 2 votes there is a thing. But maybe, Steven, could there be a divorce in the future in the alliance between Missy and Jeremy?
I mean, it could happen. It really could happen. I honestly I think you're more bullish on this pairs versus singles thing. I'm more bullish on like the kind of tribe bonds. I'm actually surprised that you think this pairs singles thing. I mean, yes, it was like a definitive factor in the original Blood versus Water. But there it seemed like, like as we've discussed, it seemed like a more professional group, right? Like this was like they were highly professionalized because they were returnees, because they were the family members of returnees, versus when it's a new experience, the bonds you form with your original tribe are deep bonds.
Okay, well I'm interested that you are so against it, because let's play this out. Okay, we have 12 people. They merge together. Who do you think are the targets coming into the merge?
Well, the targets are going to be, right, they're going to be like the leaders, right? They're going to be the big people who seem like leaders. So it seems like Josh is a very likely target, right? Everyone likes Josh. Jeremy's a very likely target. I mean, I think Jeremy.
That's the one pair that I think would be on the outside looking in of all this.
Josh and Reed?
I feel like Josh and Reed are the pair that's in the most trouble, because if you take a look at who's at Coyopa right now, you have Missy, Baylor, plus John and Jacqueline, and Keith, who would bring in Wes. That's 6 right there in a tribe, in a group of 12. And if let's say both sides come together and say, okay, let's get rid of Josh and Reed next. Both groups, the original Hunahpu and the Pairs Alliance, they both say, okay, that's it. Let's do this. Let's get rid of Josh and Reed. Now all of a sudden we're down to 10, and now we have 6 people left who are in pairs and 4 people who aren't.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that the group of 6 people who are in pairs are going to start breaking up pairs instead of going after the Jeremy, Natalie, Julie's, and Alex of the world.
Unless it's just unless it's just a game based on alliances of tribe, right? Then you've got Josh, Reed, Alec, Baylor, Missy, John, Jacqueline versus Jeremy, Natalie. Oh, it does get confusing. Yeah, that's interesting.
Because the people they're gonna end up in the minority. What needs to happen is the singles need to team up with Josh and Reed.
Yeah, it could happen. I mean, it could. You know what? As we've discussed, you look for anything that unites you. I mean, I think in this game, and I think you can even see it on this tribe. There hasn't been some like pair versus single loyalty, right? You look at Coyopa now. Keith is still in it, So personally, I think that like the pair single thing is not going to be a major differentiator. Totally could be wrong. Totally could be wrong.
Yeah. One of the things we'll talk about with Vitas tomorrow. It's going to be very fascinating to get his take. Let's talk about the trade tonight.
Yeah.
So, Steven, we had Jeff Probst showed up, big bag of rice.
Yeah, let's tease it, though. Like last week, you know what? If you need rice, this is going to be, you're going to have to, the price will be paid.
The invoice will be steep.
The invoice will be steep.
Yes. And
the bill will be high.
There will be you will see the check, and you will say, what did we order? What do we have here? This is for rice?
Trop grand.
A lot of money. It's a lot of money.
Too much.
We'll need to win the $1 million to pay off this debt.
Yeah.
Okay. So that being said, so Jeff Probst shows up, big burlap sack of delicious rice for the survivors. They're drooling.
Yeah.
And says, okay, you want this? All right. Here's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, okay, tribal council, here we go. You want to vote? You want this rice? I want a body.
Jeff is voting. Yes, I want an actual body. Like you're going to have to sacrifice a person, or we're gonna blow up your shelter.
Okay, we're taking all of your shelter, all of your comfort items, everything that you won. It's a steep penalty. So, Steven, who wins this trade in your mind? Jeff Probst?
The tribe wins the trade.
Takes back everything, or
Yeah.
the tribe who gets the rice and gives up
Jeff
everything they
took
have.
back the tarp and a pot for a huge bag of rice. What? I mean, granted, we're 3 days off the merge. Granted, the tribe wins a big reward feast the next day. All of that notwithstanding, they traded a freaking pot and a tarp for a giant thing of rice. Of course, the tribe wins. That invoice was not steep. That was an embarrassment of an invoice.
Yeah, they really did get off easy. I mean, here's the analogy that I want to compare this to for people like, but they lost everything. Here's the thing. Like, it's like, let's say, I'm your parent or whatever, or something, okay? And I come in and I say like, all right, Steven, well, you just moved to the city. So I'm gonna give you, $5,000 to get you started. So there you go, Steven. That's it. That's all your money. You go out, you live the life, you buy a ton of stuff. You got like a Xbox One. It's all hooked up.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, I don't have any more money. And I come in, all right, Steve, that's it. Fine. Here's a check for now for $3,000, but give me. I'm taking back all the stuff. So it's like basically you rented.
Yeah.
Everything.
There were no consequences.
Yeah. I just took the stuff back, and now here's more money. You just go get more stuff.
Yeah. This is a lesson, I think, to every future Survivor player. Eat as much as you want. They will not let you starve. Just eat your way through the game.
Eat your way through the game, win all the challenges. The worst case scenario, is you just keep everything from the other team. They don't get to use it. You rent it for 14 days. They come, they repo it back. You just start out exactly where you were on day one, on day 15, except that you never had to go to tribal council, and you got to rent all of the stuff for the first 14 days of the game.
I would literally have 5 meals a day if I ever went back. I would eat all of the rice every day.
Me and you, we went back, we would just be sitting there pigging out the entire time.
This is my strategy: is A, lose all the challenges, because as you know, the tribe that loses challenges builds team unity. And
Airtime.
B, eat all the airtime and team unity and eat all the rice.
We'll be so full from the rice that we'll be like unable to move in the challenges.
You're too stuffed.
Like, Survivor's ready and go. Oh, cramp! I ate too much, Jeff. Yeah. I ate way too much rice before this challenge. Yeah. I gotta sit there. Can we get a do-over?
I'm too big. I have put on too much weight to be able to compete in this challenge. Yeah.
Oh, my God. The camera adds 10 pounds. I ate all this rice. I'm not feeling like myself today, Jeff.
Yeah.
I may need to quit. I've eaten too much.
Yeah.
Speaking of quitters.
Yeah.
Where are we going with this Julie story?
She's going to quit, right? We all think she's going to quit?
Boy, we spent a lot of time with somebody tonight who would not quit the game. You know what I mean? Like, boy, this was Chekhov's quit, if anything, coming up.
Yeah, if Julie does not quit, this was a real waste of airtime. I do not believe that at this stage in the game, with so much going on, so many potential boots, that they were spending this much time unless she leaves the game.
Boy, we really did spend a lot of time on Julie and whether or not she's going to quit the game. Were you hoping Julie would quit the game?
I was. A, to get this whole quit thing out of the way, we get to stop musing about it, and B...
Who's going to quit? Who's the quitter? Who's going to quit?
You know what? The quit thing, it's come and gone. Julie quit, and maybe not yet, but she will. And, I wanted her to quit, and then just, save Dale. Save Dale.
Steven, really, when we start to get into the post-merge quits, though, boy, that's something now. Now we're talking about the Nyankas, the Purple Kellys of the world. The Janus of the world. These are few and far between, the post-merge quits, and usually those are the most upsetting to the fans.
Well, the thing is, when you're post-merge, like, you can really just subsist, right? Like, you're within striking distance of the end. If you're such a loser that you want to quit, it's likely that someone wants to take you to the end as a goat. So just exist. You know what? Don't quit. Just freaking suffer for a couple of days and win $100,000.
Okay. Let's go back to Natalie and let's talk about her decision. So now I thought that for a guy who just won the challenge for his tribe, I thought that Josh got put in a very bad position of having to choose somebody. Reed got put in a very bad position to have to choose somebody to miss the reward. That's Challenge Arena, Raw. That's Hero Village. That's what they do at Champion City. They make it hard. you could never get me to volunteer to be the person that does the challenge for the group. So like, oh, it's like, okay, so I get to do this thing. If I win, it'll be like no big deal. If I lose, everybody will be pissed off at me. And if by some miracle I win the challenge, then I got to pick somebody to get really pissed off at me.
Rob, Reed is Spider-Man. He's literally Spider-Man, and with great power comes great responsibility.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
So, what did you think of? Okay, so he did fantastic in the challenge. Actually, before we get to that, what did you think of
I would say he did amazing in the challenge because he's the amazing Spider-Man.
Yes, Coyopa. They said, "All right, we need a champion. Who? Who is your champion, Coyopa?" Baylor.
You know what? It was a challenge that favored agility. It looked like it might favor someone who is smaller in stature. I mean, we were criticizing John Rocker for volunteering when it was a challenge of agility and dexterity.
Okay, there you go, Baylor.
Yeah.
But they were not rewarded with this decision.
No, no. But that's because like Reed's hands. I mean, he must be able to read Braille because the way that he could suss out the different pieces of that puzzle were tremendous.
Yeah, no, it's very, very hard to do that kind of thing when you're blindfolded.
And people are shouting, and you're nervous. I mean, like, think of all of the pressure and the, he could hear Josh yelling in the background. Like, I can't even imagine. And Reed performed spectacularly.
Yeah, he did. The Final Four challenge in Survivor of the Amazon was a blindfold maze that involved like reading these things with your hands and figuring out where the next marker was to get a necklace. It was also very rainy, and we also had very like fat, wet fingers at that time. So that was another complication which they did not have to deal with here. But yeah, I hate anything with a blindfold. Stop it.
Yeah, it's hard. It makes everything harder. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to this decision. Okay,
right.
So Reed says, I have to make a decision. Who do you want to skip the barbecue? What the hell was he talking about with Julie?
That was like, screw you, Julie. You're on the outs. We're just going to isolate you more. We'll vote you out if need be.
Have her prove herself to...
That was just like, we don't want Julie around camp because she's whining all the time, right? Like, that's just like, we're going to vote Julie out anyway. I don't care if I get her pissed at me because she has no one in the game. Like, let's just, like, send her to exile.
Yeah, that's like that Julie is on the brink of quitting now. Let's see if we can just push her over the edge.
Yeah, she's not in my alliance. Like, I don't care about her. Like, who cares, right? Like, that's like the move.
Okay, so did you like that strategically, that first part of it?
I think that's actually a very good strategic maneuver. Like, when you have to piss someone off, you want that person to, A, be already outside your alliance, and B, not have a lot of allies. And that's exactly who Julie is.
Very interesting. Okay, so now the really fascinating part of this is here comes Natalie, who says, no, pick me. I'll go. I volunteer as tribute.
Interesting move from Natalie. It draws a lot of attention to her, right? Anyone volunteering for something like that, that puts a lot of eyes on you, and everyone is thinking, what's your angle? Why are you playing so hard? And how does this affect me?
Did you not like that move for Natalie?
I'm kind of on the fence about it, to be totally honest with you. Like, on the one hand, I mean, she explains the move in a minute, like afterwards, right? She says, I was trying to build an alliance with Baylor and Missy, but it's transparent. Everyone can see you trying to build that alliance with Baylor and Missy. On the third hand, maybe Natalie doesn't care. She's down in the numbers right now. She's got to take a shot. So I think on the margin, I like it.
I like the move. I have to say, I feel like she did a solid by Julie. I don't think that she pissed off Reed too much by doing it. And then I also think that Missy really liked the move.
Missy liked it. I think it definitely wins Missy's favor and approval. Obviously Baylor liked it. I think it's. The problem is like, is it too obvious? Do you think it's too obvious, Rob?
I didn't think it was too bad. I think that she felt like, hey, I'm 20. I can hack it on the Exile Island. Send me. I'll do it. I don't need to eat. I thought it kind of came across as like a noble move. Now, my question about all this was, do you think Natalie has any suspicion that Baylor, where she says like, I know I can trust Missy. I know I can trust Baylor. And so does she have any idea that Baylor was the one that kind of screwed over her identical twin sister?
Oh, yeah, interesting. I mean, she must, I think you got to let bygones be bygones, right?
But she doesn't know. She can't even let bygones be bygones because I don't think she knows that, right?
You don't think she knows? You don't think that information has been I assume like most information gets maybe you're right. Maybe she doesn't know.
I mean, she knows that Coyopa voted out that she voted. I mean, who would tell her? Josh? Was Josh going to say like, oh, yeah,
right.
Baylor, she totally voted out your sister.
Um,
Might be a good strategy. You might be able to drive a wedge in between them.
yeah, but he wouldn't do that. I agree. It doesn't do it. It doesn't do Josh any good.
Doesn't do
Yeah,
Josh any
you're right. You're probably right. But you know what? Like that's where Natalie is thriving, right? Like she's almost like freed from the 20 target.
Yes, yes, and she is going to. I thought Natalie is really playing the game well. I've been impressed with Natalie. After Nadia got off to a bad start in the game, was the first
Yeah.
one voted out. I said, "Boy, these twinnies, I don't think they're cut out for this game." But I really do think that Natalie has played a good game so far.
Do you think like Nadia would have played as good a game, not knowing anything about the 20s? Do you think?
Honestly, I don't. I don't have the resume to be able to tell you that. I don't have like a season of Survivor where Nadia played on her own, where I can judge her on her own. You know, they were such a combined unit together on The Amazing Race. It was hard to sort of isolate the play. But I think that Natalie's been good this season, I have to say.
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely. She's won a fishy. I strongly considered her for the fishy tonight. I'm still thinking about it. It's between Natalie and Jon for me.
Okay, let's go ahead and punch up the questions here.
Wait, before we do that, do you think Jon made the right choice? Jon and Jacqueline. Was that the right call for Jon and Jacqueline?
As opposed to taking Dale's fake idol and not voting him out of the game?
They could vote out Missy, they could vote out Keith, or they could vote out Dale. What is the move there?
I think the move was to stick with the couples. I'm telling you, I'm bullish on the couples thing. I think that they.
Keith is not a couples. Keith is not a couples either.
Keith has a couple, and he's just not on the team.
Yeah, okay.
And when you get to the merge, that you could pull Wes over. And where's Wes going to go after the merge? Is Wes going to? I mean, I guess you could see it both ways. And you have to look at it from Keith's perspective. Where do Keith and Wes want to go at the merge? Do Keith and Wes want to go with the Jon, Jacqueline, Missy, Baylor thing, or does Keith want to come over? We saw Keith went to Exile Island with Josh this season. Is Keith more likely to come over with the Josh, Reed, Wes, Alec thing?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, maybe you're right about couples. Maybe you're right that it's going to come down to that. I could see it. I don't want to say I couldn't see it.
It might not happen right away, but 2 weeks from now, when it comes down to like, well, should we vote out Wes? It's like, well, no, because then then his dad is going to go to the other side. So let's keep all the couples.
But if you're couples, like at some point you're like, there's too many freaking couples in this game.
Well, at some point, but I think you should eliminate the singles, and then it'll be interesting because it could swing back at some point. Like you could get down to 9 then, and then say, okay, well, there's 4 couples left in the game. It depends on how many couples stick together. So if they split up, say Josh and Reed, then the big swing will happen at 7. Because then you'll have the 6 people that are in couples and 1 person who's not, and say, hey, why don't you 2 couples come with me? So it'll be interesting to see how this unfolds. I think it's going to be a very interesting post-merge.
I got to say, I think Reed, as much as I like him, I think he's not that long for this game. And the reason is because all of his confessionals are about food, and even when Reed wins a challenge, like Reed won that challenge. You know who got confessionals about Reed's big win? Was Josh. Like Josh had like 2 confessionals about Reed winning a challenge.
If Reed gets voted out and doesn't make the jury, is he still dateable to Josh?
Yeah, of course. But he's gonna make the jury, right? Like the jury started.
Well, what do you think? It's gonna 12 people. You think the jury starts next week? You think this is a 9-person jury final 3?
I think in a blood versus water season, you want it to be a final 3.
Okay. Interesting. All right, let's go ahead and get to these questions, which are curated by the great Scott St. Pierre. And let's start off here with a question from Mike Ramone. Wants to know.
Hey, Raymond.
Was it smart for Natalie to volunteer to go to Exile Island and miss out on a food reward? Now, what about from the angle of missing food? When she volunteered as tribute, she missed out on barbecue.
You know what? My experience with food was that, like, A, it made you sick, and then B, it made you hungrier afterwards. So I don't think, like, missing the barbecue is any loss. I mean, we talked about the other strategic aspect of it.
Would you go as far as to say it's tainted meat?
Yeah, sure.
Tainted meat. Okay, JJ Rules 07. If you were Jeff, what penalty would you give Hunahpu for begging for food? Okay,
Tribal council.
Tribal council. We talked about this on the podcast. What about, okay, you want this bag of rice? I'm going to need all of your clothing.
All of the clothes, then we're at dating naked. Or we're at naked and afraid. Naked and afraid.
Yes. What do you think?
Nick 2S wants to know, do you make anything of the small welcome and hug Dale gave to Baylor when she got back? Did not even notice that.
No. Can't say that we did.
I mean, we know that Dale does not love Baylor. Like, the end.
Yeah, the end.
Yeah.
All right, Steven's on fire with these questions tonight. We're gonna be done in 2 minutes if he answers keeps going at this pace.
That's why you got to keep sending in the questions. All right, Bobby Bush wants to know, Rob and Steven, do you think John Rocker watched Survivor or Game 7 of the World Series? The World Series is on. Who knew? The Game 7 of the World Series tonight.
Can he do both?
Yeah, DVR, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay. Edward Morris wants to say, which pair needs the most help with this upcoming merge? Okay, so let's do the pair power rankings, Steven.
That's good. I like that a lot. All right.
Power rankings. Who's on? You want to do start from the top or the bottom?
I think right now, John and Jacqueline are on top, right?
John and Jacqueline on top. They are the hottest couple, period.
The hottest couple at camp. Well, John and Jacqueline or Josh and Reed?
I feel like Josh and Reed, again, I think that they have the biggest target on their back.
Yeah. I think John and Jacqueline right now are on top. I don't think they're the ones who are going to win the game because we all know Josh is going to win the game. But I think John and Jacqueline are on top. Now,
no Missy and Baylor? No love for...
I think they're top 3.
Top 3. Okay. Well, who's number... Do you think that John and Jacqueline, and then who's 2?
I think Josh and Reed are 2. I think they've got... You know what? They don't have the most hard power. They have the most... I do think they have the most soft power.
What does that mean?
You know, their influence. It's not like they're like running the alliance, but they have the most influence.
Okay. All right.
What do you think? Now, who do you think is number 2?
I think that it's... I'd say probably I'd go at this point in the game. I think you go Missy Baylor. I think then I think it's John Jacqueline. Then I think it's Wes and Keith, and then I think that
Missy
Josh and Reed are
above John Jacqueline. But like this very episode, Rob, what we have just returned from watching, Missy, like John and Jacqueline had the opportunity to vote out Missy.
Yes, and they were the swing vote. And now that ship has sailed of them being the swing vote, and now it's down to Missy and Baylor now adding to their power source as now Natalie comes into the fold, and now they have all these options of Jeremy comes into the fold, Julie comes into the fold, so now they have a lot of people that are pro Missy and Baylor.
That's fair. That's fair. Like you're saying at the merge. I'm thinking like right at the cusp of this episode. You're saying like next week.
As we head into a merge.
Okay. All right. I'm down with Missy Baylor as the power couple.
Power couple. Okay, it's happening.
I think Josh and Reed, though, are number 2 then in that situation.
Okay. Let's go to our next question, Scott, if you have it. Okay.
What about Keith and Wes? Keith and Wes are last.
I think Keith and Wes are in a good position too. It's hard for me because as I was saying, I think those 3 pairs are in good spots. So you could, if you want to flip John and Jacqueline and Wes and Keith, like I think that those guys are in good spots too. I'm bullish on the pairs.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's take this question from Chris Tutak, who says, why do you think John wouldn't tell Keith about Dale having a potential idol? If he did, Keith could have showed him what a real one looks like, and John would know Dale is lying. Well, I think I could answer this.
Okay, go ahead.
Because that John and Keith are not 100% on the same page. I mean, that I believe that when they had that crazy tribal council a couple of weeks ago when Badass Drew got voted out, did John put Keith's name down?
Maybe so.
I mean, he did.
Yeah, and you know, Keith, like they threw 2 votes at Keith tonight. You know, like, you know, this is chess playeritis, I think, where you think, well, Keith and John, you know, John didn't vote Keith out, therefore, like all information should be exchanged between them. And honestly, like people try to withhold information from anyone who you know who's not their closest ally.
Yeah. I think that's a good point. Okay, let's go to...
Donald Shook wants to know, Rob Cesternino, don't you think the 2 Keith votes ruined the chances of him working with John, Jacqueline, Muffin, Baylor after the merge? Yeah. Not ruin. Yeah,
I think that Missy has the best relationship with Keith out of the group. I think that, you know, John and Jacqueline don't really care so much about Keith, but Missy is the glue. She is the one keeping everything It's a sticky situation. She's keeping it all together with her.
So she's a sticky muffin.
A sticky muffin. What kind of muffin is a sticky muffin?
You know, it's like a pastry of some variety.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about Math Fridge says, how much of a factor do you think loyalty from Wes played tonight in saving Keith over Dale?
P.S. Please bring back the Fishy Fishy song.
Yeah, okay, well, I don't have that queued up tonight, but we could bring that back anytime. Yeah. How much of a factor was loyalty from Wes played in saving Keith over Dale?
I think you know what? We actually haven't talked about that. I think that's not that's a non-zero thing, right? Is that like Wes? Who was Wes tight with in this group?
Well, Wes was in the Coyopa group.
Yeah.
Well, Wes, he was allies with Alec and
Right.
with and Baylor, I think. He was in that
Baylor.
sort of
Right. He
younger
was
group.
tight with like the young, yeah, and Jacqueline as well, sort of,
Yeah,
right? Like they all voted together. So, I mean, that's probably a non-zero factor, right?
I think especially if they say, hey, let's keep the pairs strong. He has a pair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to Chelsea Paney. Wants to say, would one be happy with the title of Sole Survivor after making 2 trades with Jeff Probst in the game? I wouldn't. Steven, would you be upset about your $1 million prize in the title of Sole Survivor had you made 2 trades with Jeff Probst along the way?
No, I would still be very happy about the $1 million prize and the
Yeah.
title of Soul Survivor. Yeah, I would not be at all disappointed about that.
Yes, I don't think so. There are teams that win the Amazing Race after they got non-eliminated leg twice. They don't care.
You get a super idol. You get lucky at a merge. A lot of nonsense happens in all these reality shows. So yeah, there will be nonsense. Jason Gatorclaw, aka Jason Weatherholtz, wants to know. Probst should have punchlined, and all of your stuff goes to the other tribe. What do you think? Should all their stuff have gone to the other tribe?
Oh, the other tribe gets the stuff. I mean, I think they were doing it no matter what.
Yeah.
I think it's sort of like, and we're also your family members are kidnapped right now, and we're gonna be holding on to them for the duration of the game, and and torturing them. Like, okay, we need the rice. Look, we're out of rice, guys.
They're really hungry. Yeah. Also, I think that actually would be an incentive. Like anyone playing the game would know that merge probably very soon, knowing that you're going to reunite with your stuff in 3 days probably actually makes it a better incentive. Plus, the other tribe is their family members. They love those people.
Okay. Let's take a couple more questions. Let's do one from Grant. Are you guys surprised by the upcoming merge? Seems very early to me. I mean, traditionally, this is episode 7 coming up, Steven.
Yeah, it's not that early. You see merges at 12 all the time. Heroes vs. Villains, I believe, was a merge at 12. So I think maybe Samoa as well. Come on. It's not that unusual.
Not that unusual?
Yeah.
Okay. Shepherd 6 Robin Steven, do you guys think that Josh or Jeremy will gain control in the merge? It looks like those two are going to butt heads.
They're not butt heads.
No, it looks like Jeremy seems to be running out of patience with the dynamic duo of Josh and Reed.
Yeah, I think that there might be a little bit of a conflict with Jeremy and Josh and Reed. I really think this whole Jon, what I like about this upcoming merge is that there do seem to be a lot of dominant forces, and they're all about to collide. You've got Jeremy, you've got Josh, you've got Jon and Jacqueline, and you have Muffin and Baylor. So I think that all of them could, we could see a thing. We could see a thing happen.
Yeah, what this feels like to me right now is when you play pool and all the balls are sort of right in the all together and nobody can really hit any shots, and then it's just somebody's just all right, I'm just gonna break it up, and I feel like that's what the merge could be.
Yeah.
Let's just see what happens. Okay.
Let's see what happens. I agree. Eats Rainbows 42 wants to know who is in control. Are Baylor and Muffin just really good at convincing Jon Jacqueline, or are they making the decisions? Effectively the same thing, right? If you're good at convincing the power pair, you're effectively the power pair. But what do you think, Rob?
I would have to say that I think that Baylor and Missy in particular, are good at convincing Jon and Jacqueline what to do. I think what Missy says, that's what Jon does.
So you really think that Missy she's got the ear of, she's like the worm tongue, the Grima worm tongue of the season.
I think she's got herself into a fantastic position in the swap. I think that it just so happens that Jon does what she tells him to do. I think that whether it's sort of that she's just been feeding him all season long, and then now she's he basically is his de facto mom, and she just has to tell him what to do and he does it. I feel like that's the case.
All right.
Okay. Let's go to Jeff, who says, why do some people call Missy Muffin, Steven?
You know what? People say a lot of things. You can't take it all to heart. What does Muffin think, though?
Who's Muffin? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, who can say?
All right. And let's see.
He wants to know, would y'all rather have a season with lots of fake idols or lots of real idols?
Fake idols are imaginary. You could have infinity fake idols in a season.
Ultimately everything is a fake idol.
Yes. All right.
When it comes down to it.
All right, here's Jeremy. Rob, why do you think that Keith will bring Wes into a couples alliance with Missy, Baylor, John, and Jacqueline when they have shown him just how expendable he is by putting 2 votes on him?
I agree. I think you're discounting the votes issue.
Steven, what do you think of my theory if you had to describe it?
I would argue that it's fan fiction, Rob.
Fan fiction. I'm like a storyteller. That's what I do.
We're waiting to play that all night.
Oh my God, that's amazing. That's amazing. Who said that? I'm like a storyteller.
That's Penner. That's Penner.
Oh.
Fan fiction.
Oh, I love it.
I'm like a storyteller. That's what I do.
That's just for you, Steven.
Who's singing fan fiction in that?
We have all sorts of production people who work on the show.
Wow.
All right, so Steven, so did you make a final call on who gets the fishy?
Oh, I guess I don't know. Is it John or Missy?
I think that I would have to say, I mean, John came dangerously close to accepting a fake idol from Dale. He said, "I think it's real." He should not be rewarded with a fishy for his behavior.
What did Missy actually do? Like, what was the moment for Missy? You know, what is that moment when she goes from a potential target to a potential, or to the tribe mastermind?
When John comes to her and tells her about Dale's plan and is like, "Hey, Dale wants to, he has an idol and he says to play it," and she's like, "No, we're splitting the votes. Stop.
Yeah.
We're not taking Dale. That's it." And that's it. I mean, she squashed it. She squashed the insurrection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I need to go back and rewatch that part.
Okay, we'll check it out. That's my vote for the fishy. I think it goes.
I like it. I actually like a Missy fishy.
Yes. All right. So fair enough. So Stephen Fishbach, check out your column tomorrow.
Yeah. So, well, you know who's going to get it, but now you can see me argue why.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, we get that on people.com, also at Stephen Fishbach's Twitter, at Stephen Fishbach. I'll be joined by Vetus tomorrow. I'll get that thread up on Facebook to talk to him about what's his take heading into the merge. Yeah. Also, we're going to get your voicemails for Snowy. The forecast calls for Snowy tomorrow night.
Oh, my God. Hey, Snowy.
All right, so get your voicemails in at robhasawebsite.com/voicemail, 323-282-RHAP. And Stephen, the 1,000th Rob Has a Podcast is around the corner.
What number are we on?
We are. This one I think is like 994. Or something
it's like 6 podcasts left on the 1,000th episode.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Let's say that's what it is.
Well, what are you doing? Did you announce anything yet?
Yeah, what we're going to do is we are going to be having people call in on the voicemail line.
No.
Tell us what their favorite moment is, and then we're going to play the moments. Some Stephen Fishbach moments have been making the cut.
Oh, I better call in and select some of my own moments.
Well, if you have a favorite moment, call in, go to the voicemail line, robhasawebsite.com.
How can I? It's like Sophie's Choice over 6 years or whatever, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sophie Clark's Choice.
Yeah, we don't know what Sophie's Choice is going to be. Probably something that she was on. But anyway, so if you want to get your get it in by Sunday. That's the cutoff on that. So think about it. Tell us the episode that was your favorite point, and we'll play those moments in our 1,000th episode of Rob Has a Podcast coming up next week. Very, very exciting. Make sure you subscribe to Rob Has a Podcast. robhasawebsite.com/iTunes or robhasawebsite.com/Survivor Podcast for the Survivor-only feed. Stephen, thank you so much. You did a fantastic job tonight. You were on fire.
Oh, my God, Rob. It was my pleasure. You know, it's us. It's us.
Yeah. Also, I want to give a big thank you to, I'm seeing in the chat room a lot of people picked up the new Rob Has a Podcast T-shirt during the show tonight. So thank you guys very much for.
Nice. I'm going to get one as well.
Yes, well, we'll see if we can get you a shirt, Steven.
Wait, Rob, I just watched. I watched the Simpsons Halloween episode on Hulu Plus, and I was really excited to have an opportunity to break out this fact because I was just watching Hulu Plus, and I watched the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror 25, and we didn't talk about it.
All right, well, we can talk about it on the next Survivor Know-It-Alls. If you want to watch the Treehouse of Horror like Steven, go to huluplus.com/Rob.
Yeah.
2 weeks for free.
Yeah.
Steven, have a great night, and I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon, buddy.